The Galactic Council had issued 17 warnings, 17 official communications, each more urgent than the last, transmitted across the void to the expanding Zorvath Empire. The message was simple, consistent, and desperate. Stay away from the humans. Commander Thaxil of the Zorvath Imperial Fleet dismissed the 18th warning with a flick of his tri-fingered hand. His massive warship, the Dominion's Fist, hung in the darkness at the edge of the Sol system like a predator observing prey. Behind him, 300 vessels of war awaited his command, the largest expeditionary force the Empire had assembled in 2 centuries. Another warning from the Council, his communications officer reported, her voice trembling slightly. They claim the humans are unprecedented. Thaxil's mandibles clicked in amusement. The Council grows soft. They see danger in every shadow since the humans emerged. One small species barely passed their first fusion drives and the entire galaxy trembles? He had studied the intelligence reports. Humans had only achieved faster-than-light travel 40 cycles ago. Their territory consisted of 12 colony worlds, primitive by any measure. Their military vessels were patchwork affairs. Crude fusion drives welded to projectile weapons that would have been obsolete in any civilized fleet 3,000 years prior. The Zorvath Empire had conquered 47 species. Humanity would be the 48th. Jessica Chen floated in the zero-gravity command center of the UHNS Defiance, watching the alien armada through holographic displays that painted the darkness with points of hostile light. As Admiral of the Third Fleet, she had fought pirates, quelled rebellions, and negotiated 3 separate peace treaties. She had never faced an invasion. "They're not responding to hails," Lieutenant James Morrison reported from the tactical station, his fingers dancing across haptic interfaces. "And Admiral, they're not just positioned for invasion. This is an extermination fleet." Jessica studied the formation. 300 ships. The United Human Nations had perhaps 200 combat-capable vessels scattered across 12 worlds. By every conventional metric, this was unwinnable. "Get me the Council delegate," she ordered. The hologram of Ambassador Carell materialized, the insectoid diplomat's antenna twitching with obvious distress. "Admiral Chen, the Zorvath have ignored all warnings. We cannot intervene." "I'm not asking for intervention," Jessica interrupted. "I'm asking what they know about us." "What did your warning say?" Carell's compound eyes seemed to reflect something that might have been pity. "We told them everything. Your psychological profiles, your history, your capacity." The word hung in the air like an accusation. "They believe our caution is weakness." Jessica nodded slowly. "Then they've made their choice." Thaxil gave the order and the Zorvath fleet surged forward. 300 ships moving in perfect coordination, their plasma batteries charging, their shields shimmering into existence. It was beautiful, he thought. The Empire's power made manifest, the human vessels moved to intercept. So few of them. 23 ships against his 300. Thaxil almost felt disappointment at how brief this would be. Then the humans opened fire, and everything Thaxil knew about warfare became irrelevant. Human weapons were primitive, kinetic railguns that hurled slugs of depleted, uranium at relativistic speeds, crude, unsophisticated, the EI. Zorvath shields were designed to dissipate energy weapons, to redistribute plasma fire across defensive grids. They were not designed for solid projectiles moving at 0.3 light speed. The first Zorvath cruiser simply ceased to exist, its shields meaningless against the kinetic impact. The second lost its entire port side. The third began to tumble, atmosphere venting from a hole punched clean through its reactor core. Evasive maneuvers. Thaxil roared, but the humans were already moving. Their ships didn't maneuver like any vessels he'd encountered. They didn't bank or turn. They used brute force thruster burns that would have killed any other species through sheer acceleration. But humans, the intelligence report suddenly reminded him, could withstand forces that would liquefy a Zorvath's internal organs. James gritted his teeth as the Defiance pulled an 11G turn, his compression suit inflating to keep blood in his brain. Around him, the crew worked through the crushing force, years of training overriding every biological impulse to scream and surrender. "Target the command ship," Jessica ordered, her voice steady despite the 500-pound weight pressing on her chest. "I want Thaxil to watch his fleet die." The Defiance's main railgun spoke, and another Zorvath heavy cruiser became debris. Human point defense systems, designed initially to intercept missiles in Earth's wars, tore through incoming plasma fire with the precision of automated murder. They're breaking formation, James reported. Surprise colored his voice. Admiral, they're retreating. But Jessica was already shaking her head. No, they're just now understanding what they're facing. On the Dominion's fist, Thaxil watched his fleet fracture. 73 ships destroyed in the opening minutes. 73. The humans fought with a savagery that defied logic, maneuvering in ways that should have killed their crews, taking damage that would have forced any rational commander to surrender. A message appeared on his display, a direct communication from the human flagship. Admiral Jessica Chen's face filled the screen, and Thaxil saw something in her eyes that made his blood run cold. Not hatred, not fear, simply resolution. Commander Thaxil, she said quietly, the Galactic Council warned you. They told you what we are. They told you about our history, 10,000 years of war against ourselves. They told you we evolved on a death world where everything tried to kill us, where we learned to hunt predators larger and stronger than ourselves using nothing but stones and determination. She leaned forward. They told you we are persistence predators, that we don't stop, ever, and you thought they were exaggerating. Behind her, James called out, targeting solution locked on their command ship. Jessica never broke eye contact. You came to exterminate us, Commander. Now let me show you why every other species in this galaxy knows to leave humanity alone. The Dominion's fist died 3 seconds later, its shields useless against the massed railgun fire. Thaxil's last thought was of the Council's warnings, and how he had laughed at their fear. Of the 300 ships that entered the Sol system, 17 limped away, their crews broken, their commander dead, their empire's pride shattered. Behind them, Jessica Chen watched their retreat and allowed herself one moment of exhaustion before turning to the endless work of preparing for what might come next. Ambassador Carell's message arrived hours later. The Zorvath Empire has requested immediate peace negotiations. They are also withdrawing their objections to human expansion. Other species are reconsidering their positions regarding your territorial claims. James looked at Jessica. Did we just win a war by being too terrifying to fight? Jessica smiled grimly. We won a war by being exactly what 10,000 years of evolution made us. The Zorvath learned what the Council already knew. What's that? That humans are too dangerous to provoke, and now maybe too dangerous to ignore. In the darkness of space, the Defiance held position, its railguns cooling, its crew alert. Humanity had passed another test, not of strength but of will. The galaxy would remember, and more importantly, the galaxy would think twice before testing humanity again.